they were saying he published the full picture, and there you have a multi-witness sighting. That, how are you going to debunk that? One thing that really
I'm sure the
burns
people that tried to felt silly.
Well, one of the things that always has burned me is, you can't say everybody's lying. If I would have said that, you just can't do that. I mean, you've got to take it at face value. You've got to understand where they're coming from, what they saw, do your homework. It's no different than any other. I don't care if it's paranormal or if it's cryptozoology or ufology. There's a process. You get the information. If you can get to the scene, get to the scene. It's always best to talk to the person or persons in person. Do background research, see what that area is like. Is there something there? If it's a paranormal thing, do your background on the home or the property or whatever you're going to do. If it's cryptozoology, look at the area, and ufology, look for other reports. There's so many things you can do before you actually even sit down to type in your report. And I find that lacking in a lot of researchers. I mean, a lot of researchers. Yes. It's a whole lot easier.
In all the fields.
In all the fields. It's a whole lot easier to, for somebody in the paranormal field to go through an old church or cemetery, excuse me, and say, whoop, we saw Dracula. Or somebody walking through the woods and they got Wolfman running around. Or it's a ufology thing and they've got something parked out in their farmyard that looks like a UFO. It's so much easier to say that than it is to actually do the work.
Yes.
And that's sad. I mean,
well, and it's frustrating because you lose so much information.
Yeah, and then they want to be believed. And if you don't believe them or you act like you don't believe them or you question them on anything, they lose their minds. They think you're out to get them. I said to one guy one time, and he said that to me. I said, look, if I was out to get you, I wouldn't even waste my time. I'd hire a hitman. Take care of it. Just get you off the planet because you're nuts. There's something wrong with you. I mean, this guy was seeing little gray creatures walking around his yard, picking tomatoes and, stealing his lettuce. And picking tomatoes and stealing his lettuce. And I said, well, maybe they're vegetarians, And that's what he went with. He said, wow, yeah, you're right. They could be vegetarians. I thought to myself, I got to get out of here. This guy's going to make me lose my mind. But it's, ufology is, even though I think they all have a connection somehow, the paranormal, ufology, and cryptozoology, excuse me again, I think you can pretty much say that they're all connected and they're all part of the paranormal instead of breaking them up. A case that I worked on a long time ago where we had a paranormal group and they got a hold of me and heard me speak at a conference, and we were talking afterwards, and the guy says, he has a question about something that happened at this house. And I said, look, I'm not a paranormal expert, buddy. If you're talking about ghosts, I'll give you the names of 100 people I know, but I'm not your guy. He said, well, just listen to what I'm saying. I said, okay. So this takes place on a farm that is still living. People are still living there, work there, and there's two other houses on the farm. Now, this is all the same family. There are no outsiders. This is all one family, and these two people were members of that family. They live in one house. The house across from them is the main house. Up the road, just a piece, half a mile, is another home that's empty. That's where an aunt lived. And she passed away, and they never did anything with the house. They figured somebody in the family will get married eventually. They'll give them the house. And it's been in the house. It's been in the family. The homes have been the family for like over 100 years.
Okay.
So they had at the home that's closed up. They had people on the farm reporting seeing lights moving around in the house. So of course they thought somebody broke in. They went up. House was locked tighter than a drum. So they got some video of these lights, and they move from the first floor to the second floor, and they go from one end of the house to the other, and they wind up in the attic, and they're downstairs in the living room. And it's just these lights moving around. It's just like somebody walking around with a good flashlight, you know what I mean, one of those LED jobs. So I said, so what has that got to do with ufology? And he says, well, have you ever had anything like that? And I said, no. no, everything we get is either up in the sky or it's on the ground. I said, nothing moving around in the house. And so he said, we have a team in our area. They've been out once. They're coming out again in a couple of weeks. He says, is there anything you could impart to them to help them? And I says, well.
What kind of team? A paranormal team?
Yeah, paranormal team. And I looked them up. They've been around for a long time. This is out in Kansas. So I sent him an email and I said, look, when you set up in the house with your cameras and your EVP and whatever you're going to do, I said, have somebody outside, set up a camera outside, and have that person watch the sky. See if there's any action above the house or in the sky while these lights are going on and off. And I said, let me tell you something. This is just a shot in the dark. I said, but I don't know what you're seeing, but at least I can say, after you tell me you didn't find anything or see anything up there, that it's not UFO related. Well, what do you think? Wouldn't you know it?
Showed up.
They were inside the house for an hour, nothing. An hour and a half, nothing. 2 hours, light went on in the attic. At that point, the guys got it on video. There's a bright orange orb off to the left of the house, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 feet above the house. It shoots off into the stars. It just goes straight up. It's gone. The lights go out. 2 hours goes by. Everybody's outside. All the cameras and stuff are doing their thing inside. Same thing happens again. This time, the garage lights up. They don't see anything in the sky. As the garage lights go out, something flies up from behind the garage, smaller orb, white in color, very fast, straight up into the sky.
No way.
That is bizarre. And I've seen the video. It's bizarre.
Yes, that is.
So, look, and I've gone out with a couple of paranormal teams. They let me go along like a JAFO, just another blank observer. But I want to know what they do and how they do it. I'm just interested. I've never done one of those cases by myself. So, they were kind enough to let me tag along and stumble all over them and, help do some things.
We have a question of where in Kansas? What area of Kansas?
It was right. It would have been, I got a picture of Kansas in my mind. It would have been northwest of Lawrence.
Okay.
It's a farming area, which pretty much all of Kansas is. But, so, these things that we deal with, whether it's the paranormal, ghosts, ufology, demons, whatever, religious things, doesn't matter. There are so many researchers out there that are good. They're very good. They're very good. And then there's the other side of it where you got the TV folks and
yes.
One of the things that drives me nuts is they always dress in black. They always dress in black.
With green writing.
Let me tell you
I don't know what that is, but that seems to be the trend lately.
If you see my team in the field in the summertime, you're going to see hiking boots, cut off jeans, old ripped up T-shirts, baseball hats on backwards. We're not that type. And I don't get it. I just don't understand it. It's almost like they're auditioning for, the big show.
That is. Well, if you look through,
don't impress me with the big show. Give me an answer. What'd you find? What do you got? What'd you see? Did you get any evidence? That's another thing. When you ask these people about evidence, well, I got an EVP. Really? How many people were in the house when you took this EVP? We have 8 on our team. Where were they? Oh, they were all over the house. So they were all dead silent, correct? Oh, no, they were talking. We heard them. Okay. Thank you. There's your EVP.
Yes.
Frankie's crazy.
He is crazy.
Ghosts only come out at night and appear if you dress up and got the guitar. Okay, Frank.
That's the only time they talk to you.
I have to get down to Frank. I got to go out with Frank.
Come here. We have sloths. We'll go to other places too. We have Jonathan Odom, who is Alabama Paranormal and Bigfoot. We can have a whole great time.
Yeah, I just need to take a lot of bail money along because I know Frank and I are going to get in trouble.
I'll get you.
Okay. So long as somebody's got us covered.
We're about 30 minutes apart. We got this handled.
I don't want to call my wife and say I'm getting married to a guy named Bubba.
Well, so, you will be in Alabama, so.
Yeah, but look, I have a lot of respect for the researchers out there that actually do what they're supposed to do, and actually will take the time to explain to somebody who doesn't do it how they do it, what they do, what they found, without snowballing them or feeding them a line of crap. It's one of those things that I just stay away from it. I just don't get involved in it. It's just the drama queens, they can do what they want. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. They can say what they want. It doesn't bother me. They can jump off a bridge. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. But there are a lot of good investigators out there, Kat, that really know what they're doing. They put their heart and soul into it. They got the equipment. They got the knowledge of how to use it. They know how to conduct an investigation. They know how to collect evidence. When I see a guy out, and I ran into one of these one time, and believe me, it was just getting involved in a little bit of cryptid stuff, not a whole lot, just a little bit. I was actually just with another group again, and this guy I got a hair sample. Really? I go over and look. Yeah, there's a hair sample hanging there. And he opens up his sandwich bag and takes a sandwich out and puts the sandwich in his pocket, reaches over with his bare hands, grabs the hair and puts it in the sandwich bag and seals it.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much.
Were you stunned?
I looked at one of my investigators who was standing beside of me. He was staring at me and I was staring at him, and I said, "Well, hey, it's time we got to go. I got a thing. I got to get out of here." And I haven't been back since.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. I mean, look, if you're going to do this and you're looking for the truth, which is what we're all looking for, right?
Ostensibly.
But if you're going out to, turn your little ufology thing or your paranormal thing or your crypto thing into writing a TV show series, give it up. Just don't do it. Don't do it. I have people that if I get 1 or 2 a day, I'll get 20 in a month. When am I going to write a book? That ain't going to happen. That ain't ever going to happen because I haven't found what I'm looking for yet. So what would I be writing about? So if I'd be writing about something that I haven't found anything on yet, that'd be pretty much lying my ass off, wouldn't I?
There's always that possibility. Yes, but we have got to go to break. Okay. And I'm having way too much fun for this to actually be like pseudo working. So this will be a 2-minute break. And thank you so much for being here. We will be right back on the little flip side of this. Enjoy it.